All right, guys. Questions on the homework? 6-3, 13, 14. So 13 and 14 are connected to each other because it's AE, so AG and here. Because the whole length, guys, let's focus in. So for 6.3, 13 and 14, 13 I believe asks for the length of AG, yes? So the whole thing is 15, and AG, so 2/3 of the whole is equal to the bigger length. Well, the whole thing is 15 because it told us in the problem that AE was 15. So AG, the bigger length, is going to be 2/3 of 15. Well, we can do 15 times 2, which is 30, and 30 divided by 3 is, so AG is, and I think the next one asks for GE, yes?
Yeah.
Which is the smaller, which is half the bigger.
So it's 5.
And that's it. Questions on this here? Questions on anything so far? All right, guys, so let's focus in here. Focus up here. We're going to go on and start the note sheets for today. So one way we can think about the theorem that we're looking at today is kind of the swinging gate. So we can think of this as a triangle, where the gate and the opening of the gate are two sides of the triangle. Yes? Now, as the gate opens, the third side length is going to get bigger. Yes? Well, as we open the gate. So the third side is going to get bigger, which means angle A is going to get bigger. Because as it opens, the opening is going to get bigger. So the angle and that side are going to get bigger. Yes? So the gate that's all the way open will have a longer side length, BC, than when we barely have it open. Yes? So that leads us to our first theorem, the hinge theorem. Two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another, and the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second. So angle V is larger than angle R. So that means side length WX is going to be bigger than side length ST. That's it. Yep. So if the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second, then the third side of the first is larger than the third side of the second. And the converse of it's true. If we have two congruent sides of one triangle, two congruent sides on another, and the third side's bigger, then the angle is going to be bigger. So here, since 12 is bigger than 9, angle C is going to be greater than angle F. Questions on this here? So given ST is congruent to PR, so we have ST, PR congruent, and this side PS is congruent to itself. So we want to compare how angle PST compares to the measure of angle SPR. So which side's bigger? 24 or 23? So that means angle PST is greater than SPR. Questions on this here? Given a side length AB is congruent to side length DE and BC is congruent to EF, how does the measure of angle B compare to the measure of angle E? So which side's bigger? 11, so angle B is bigger. Questions on this here? Given that JK is congruent to LK, how does JM compare to LM? JM's bigger because angle opposite it is. Since we're talking about measures, we won't have to. Yep. If we were talking about the segments themselves, we would. But since we're comparing JM, their lengths, we don't have to include it. Huh? I wouldn't mark it off, but we don't need it for these here. Because for line segments, we don't have to put M. The exclusion of the line says we're talking about measure. Other questions on this here? Compare AC. How does AC compare to DC? So which angle is bigger? 48 is bigger, so AC is greater than DC. Are you ready for the next one? If PR is equal to PS and the measure of angle QPR is greater than the measure of QPS, which is longer, SQ or RQ? So we know that this is congruent. Now we're saying QPR is bigger than QPS, smaller. RQ is longer. Yeah, either works. Questions on this here? Any other questions on this here? If PR is equal to PS and RQ is greater than SQ, RQ, so bigger side length, smaller side length, which angle is larger, RPQ or SPQ? Well, this side's bigger, so angle RQ, nope, you're right. RQ is less than SQ. RQ smaller, SQ is bigger. I just made the assumption that RQ, the bigger one, was on the left. So the actual bigger angle is SPQ is if it was at S or R, yes, but the other two, no. Questions on this here? What can you conclude about the measure of angle A and the measure of angle Q in this figure? Any other questions on this here? I think y'all feel comfortable with these here. And that is it. Yep.